Every summer my kids cried when Grandma said there was no space for us. So I built a beachfront resort, packed it with love, and sent my mother her own cruel words back. Amelia, honey, I'm so sorry, but there's just not enough room again this year. Those words haunted me for 8 summers straight. And every time my mom said it, her voice sounded so sweet, like she was apologizing for running out of cookies at a bake sale, not for excluding me and my kids from a family tradition that defined our entire childhood. What happened next shocked everyone and changed our family forever. I bought a luxury beachfront resort, booked it full, and when she asked if she could come visit, I told her the exact words she told me all those years. Sorry, there's just no room. Let me backtrack, though. My name's Amelia. I'm 36, divorced, and raising 2 amazing kids, Alex, 9, and Mia, 7. My sister Olivia is 35, married to a sales rep named Mike, and somehow managed to birth 4 children in 6 years, Jack, Ava, James, and Arya. You'd think she discovered a cheat code for life the way my mom treats her like royalty. Every year since Olivia's family grew past 2 kids, I'd get the same call from Mom in March, like clockwork. There's just not enough space at the beach cottage this year. Olivia's family is so big now, you understand, right? No, I didn't understand. Because that house? 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a huge wraparound deck overlooking the Atlantic. Plenty of room, just not for me. Meanwhile, Olivia's clan would show up with floaties, sun hats, and enough snacks to fill a vending machine. My mom would roll out the red carpet literally. She'd stock the house with Olivia's favorite foods, buy brand new beach toys for the kids, even repaint the guest rooms to match their aesthetic. And us? Alex and Mia would sit by the window, asking, "Why don't we ever go to Grandma's beach house, Mom?" What was I supposed to say? Because Grandma doesn't think we matter? The worst part? It wasn't just about a vacation. It was about being invisible. I'd worked myself raw building a graphic design business from scratch. After the divorce, I'd hustle 12-hour days, juggling school pickups and client calls. I was paying the bills, keeping the lights on, and still, in my mom's eyes, Olivia was the successful one. She'd call me Amelia, still figuring things out. Said it like I was a lost child with crayons and dreams, not a business owner pulling in 6 figures. Olivia, on the other hand, could burn a pie and still be called Supermom. Last summer, I landed a dream client, a major tech company that wanted a full brand overhaul. A 6-figure contract. I was proud, excited. Told my mom at her birthday dinner. She barely looked up from her wine. "That's wonderful, dear. Maybe now you can get a real job." Olivia giggled, clinking her glass. She just loves playing with her computer, doesn't she? But the final straw wasn't even them. It was what Olivia said right after Mom gave me the annual "no room at the beach" speech. "Maybe if you had a real career, you could afford your own vacation," she said, all sugary sweet. "We shouldn't have to give up family time because you can't get your life together." I smiled, nodded, pretended to agree. But inside, something shattered and something stronger took its place. I didn't cry that night. I started planning. And what I did next, no one in my family saw coming. The next morning, I made a list. Not a to-do list, more like a prove-them-wrong list. At the top, underlined in red ink, find somewhere better than their stupid beach house. I started by checking out cabins, villas, luxury tree houses, you name it. But nothing hit right until I found it. An old, worn-down resort on a private stretch of ocean in North Carolina. Abandoned, overgrown. But the bones? Solid. The second I saw it, I knew this was it. The crown jewel of my revenge. I cashed in a chunk of savings. Took out a business loan under my LLC. Called it Mia and Alex Retreats, a little something named after the 2 humans who never stopped believing in me. My accountant thought I was unhinged. You want to buy a what? A beachfront resort. For personal use. And group rentals. And other things, I said, my tone probably a little too icy. The remodel took months. Contractors, painters, designers. I was pulling 16-hour days again. Not just to make it beautiful, but to make it undeniable. Every corner was curated. Infinity pool, kid-friendly arcade, yoga deck with ocean view. I had custom towels embroidered with our initials, stocked the fridge with my kids' favorite snacks, and turned the main suite into the cozy, elegant nest I'd always dreamed of. Meanwhile, Olivia was posting about #BeachHouseVibes again. My mom commented under every photo, so blessed to be surrounded by all my babies. Except, of course, the other daughter and her 2 grandchildren. But I was playing the long game. And when summer rolled around, I booked the resort out for 8 solid weeks. 1 week for just me and the kids. The other 7? Friends, clients, single moms I knew who hadn't had a real vacation in years. I hosted quiet weeks for remote workers, set up babysitters, and ran free photography sessions for their family scrapbooks. The reviews exploded online. Then came the message. It was a text from Mom. One I screenshotted, printed out, and kept in a drawer because it felt that delicious. Hey sweetie, Olivia said your little resort looks amazing. Any chance there's a room available in August? The cottage is getting repairs, and we thought it might be nice to change it up this year. Let me know, sparkling heart. That's when I typed back the exact words she'd given me, verbatim, for 8 years straight. So sorry, there's just not enough room. You understand, right? Olivia sent me a voice memo later that night. She called me manipulative, told me I was being immature and petty, said I was ruining her kids' summer memories. I didn't respond. I just posted a group photo of me, Alex, Mia, and 10 other families beaming in front of the infinity pool. Caption: there's always enough room for people who made room for me. And yet, the best twist? It wasn't even the revenge. It was what came after. Because Olivia wasn't the only one watching. The phone call I got next changed everything. The call came on a Tuesday. Mid-afternoon, I was sketching logo drafts for a wellness brand by the pool, sipping iced coffee and listening to Mia teach Alex how to dive without belly flopping. My phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. Hello. Hi. Amelia. The voice was hesitant, polished, familiar. This is Karen from Lux Life Travel Magazine. I sat up. Yes. We've seen your property online, Seaside Haven? One of our riders stayed there last week during a retreat. She said it's a hidden gem with the intimacy of a boutique hotel and the amenities of a 5-star resort. We'd love to feature it in our July issue. I blinked. Oh well. Yes. Absolutely. We'd also love to do a profile on the founder, if you're open to that. That night, as I stared at the stars from my balcony, I thought back to the first time my mom ever made me feel like an outsider. I was 16. Olivia had just gotten her braces off, and my mom threw her a smile party. I didn't even know that was a thing. Balloons, cake, banners that said shiny and stunning. I had just won first place in a statewide art competition. I brought the ribbon home, heart pounding, thinking maybe, just maybe, I'd finally done something worthy of celebration. Mom glanced at it, said, "That's nice, honey," then asked if I could take pictures of Olivia for her smile scrapbook. Even back then, I felt it, that sting of being the maybe later child. Always on hold. Always second. But that summer at the resort? That summer was mine. Alex and Mia glowed. They called it Mom's Paradise and bragged to their friends that their mom was a boss. I hosted bonfire nights, did yoga at sunrise, and even invited a few other single parents I'd met online to stay a weekend on the house. People who had been made to feel small, like I had. Then something strange happened. One night, I got another call from a blocked number. Amelia. It was Olivia. I shouldn't be calling, she said quickly. But Jack saw your resort on TikTok. He asked why we weren't going. He's been crying all day. Her voice cracked. It caught me off guard. She went on, stumbling over her words. I know I've been awful. I know Mom's treated you unfairly. But my kids, this whole thing is confusing them. A beat of silence. Could we come? Just for one night? They don't even need rooms. We could sleep in the car. I almost laughed. Olivia, queen of luxury, begging for floor space. But then I looked over at Alex. He was asleep on the couch, his hand still curled around a half-eaten marshmallow. I thought of the nights I cried in my closet because my kids couldn't understand why they weren't loved the same way. Thought of the dozens of family photos I wasn't in. And I thought of what I wanted, really wanted. Not just revenge. Peace. You can't stay here, I told her softly. But maybe we can meet somewhere. Talk. But Olivia didn't want that. She hung up, angry again. She hadn't changed. But I had. The next morning, I got an email from the travel magazine. They wanted to run my profile on the cover. The title? From Forgotten to Founder, One Woman's Escape to Empowerment. I smiled, folded the email into my memories like a letter I'd been waiting my whole life to receive. But what I didn't know was that Olivia hadn't given up. Not yet. And her next move? It wasn't just petty. It was dangerous. It started with a Yelp review. 1 star. No words. Just a blurry photo of a cockroach that didn't even match my decor. Then another. Owner was rude. Screamed at our kids. Total scam artist. That one had my name in it. By the end of the week, Seaside Haven had gone from 5 stars to 3.2. And then I got the voicemail. Hope you enjoy your 15 minutes, Amelia. Because once people find out what you're really like, they'll be running from your little resort. Maybe next time you won't shut out your own family. Her voice was unmistakable. Olivia. I don't know what burned more, the sabotage or the pathetic amateur way she went about it. I'd spent my whole life keeping quiet, taking the high road while she trampled over my dignity like it was a game of hopscotch. But not this time. I forwarded the voicemail to Yelp. I uploaded a video to the resort's official page, just me, standing in front of the infinity pool, holding the magazine cover with my face on it. This resort was built out of a lifetime of being told there's no room. For anyone who's ever felt small, unwanted, forgotten, I made this place for you. It went viral. I didn't expect it. But the comments flooded in. Stories from people whose families had made them feel like they were never enough. People who said, I booked a stay just because of this. Bookings tripled in 48 hours. But Olivia wasn't done. She sent a cease and desist. Claimed Seaside Haven was based on family property ideas discussed at private family events. She wanted a cut of my earnings. I didn't even bother calling a lawyer. I forwarded the email to my friend Lisa, who just happens to be a federal prosecutor. Lisa replied with 3 sentences. I'll handle it. And no, she has no case. But Olivia wasn't backing down. One morning, I went out to the beach and found it, spray painted across my sign. Family first, fraud later. My kids saw it before I did. Alex asked me, Mom, did you steal something from Aunt Olivia? That's when I snapped. I sat them both down, told them everything. Not the petty stuff, not the revenge, but the truth. How we'd been excluded. How sometimes people you love deeply will choose to love you less. And how we don't let that define us. That night, we repainted the sign together. The new one said, Welcome to Seaside Haven, family is who makes room for you. The next morning, a black SUV pulled into the driveway. And out stepped someone I hadn't seen in over a decade. My mother. But she didn't look like the mom who used to braid my hair or sing in the kitchen. She looked smaller, thinner, like the years had folded her into paper. She walked toward me slowly, hands shaking. I need to talk, she said. Her voice cracked like dry earth. But what she said next nearly knocked the wind out of me. I'm sick, Amelia. I don't have much time. I'm sick, Amelia. I don't have much time. That's what she said, standing on the beach I bought without her knowing, staring at me like the last 10 years had been a fever dream. My mom, the woman who once told me, maybe next year we'll make room. 8 years in a row. She looked older now, not just in the wrinkles or the thinning hair, but in her eyes. The sparkle that used to light up for Olivia was gone, replaced by something hollow. I have liver failure, she said, her voice barely audible over the waves. The doctors say 6 months. Maybe less. I didn't know what to feel. Anger? Relief? Nothing? I just want my family together again, she whispered. Before I go, I let the silence hang. It was the same silence I'd lived with every summer she forgot my children existed. The same silence she gave me when I told her about my divorce, or my business, or my success. Always smiling. Always patronizing. You know, I said finally, I used to sit on the porch every June. I'd pack a bag for the kids, just in case you called and said there was space. Her eyes welled up, but not from understanding. From guilt. Maybe fear. I was wrong, she said. But you've punished Olivia enough, haven't you? And that was the moment I realized it. She didn't come here to say goodbye. She came to protect Olivia. Even now, even facing death, her first instinct was to defend the daughter who painted family first, fraud later across my resort sign and spray paint, who posted fake reviews, who tried to ruin me. I turned away, staring out at the waves. You know what the worst part was? I said quietly. It wasn't the rejection. It wasn't the birthdays you skipped. It was watching my kids cry because they thought they weren't good enough for their own grandma. She flinched like I'd slapped her. I didn't realize, she whispered. No, I said. You never wanted to. She asked to stay one night. Just one. Said she'd sleep on the sand if she had to. I let her. Not because I forgave her, but because I wanted her to see it. To walk through the place she said I'd never be capable of running. To eat in the restaurant I designed. To swim in the pool built by a daughter she thought was still figuring things out. She left the next morning without a word. 3 months later, I got the call. She was gone. She left behind a small envelope. No inheritance. No grand apology. Just a photo. It was of me, age 6, covered in finger paint, smiling up at the camera. On the back, in handwriting I didn't recognize, it said, "She was always the bright one." I cried, not for her, but for the little girl who needed to hear that and never did. I kept the photo, framed it, hung it on the wall of the lobby at Seaside Haven, right next to a plaque that reads, "This resort was built for the forgotten, the excluded, the maybe next year kids. Here, there's always room for you."